Hey guys, we have an urgent information coming out. US President files emergency Supreme Court appeal to deploy National Guard to Chicago as ICE protests explode. Once again, the US President administration has filed an emergency motion with the Supreme Court requesting it to approve a deployment of the National Guard to Chicago. Alright, so we're going to see what's going on here, guys. Once again, this is an urgent breaking news. And here's the thing. I have a strong feeling they're going to deny it. Supreme Court is not going to allow the guards to be deployed in Chicago. So we're going to see what's going on with this one here. Before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife Jessica Santiago at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida 34691. And for those of you that want to contribute to the channel, we do have the Cash App link and the PayPal link in the comments box and also the description box. Thank you again for your support. Your support is what keeps us on air. Also, guys, stay updated. Subscribe, hit that notification bell for real-time news alerts. Also, make sure you leave comments down below. What do you think about the topic today? And again, I really appreciate the love and support, guys. Thank you so much. All right, so it says here, so the U.S. President administration has filed an emergency motion with the Supreme Court requesting it to approve a deployment of the National Guard to Chicago. This marks the first time the U.S. president officials have the highest court in the land to weigh in on one of his crime, and that's the immigration crackdown in blue states or blue cities. Now you have the Solicitor General D. John filed the appeal on Friday, arguing that lower court rulings should be overturned that prevented troops from going in to control growing anti-ICE protests in Chicago. What are your thoughts, guys? I mean, one thing I tell you is that we have learned a lot today with the no kings across America. I mean, we are seeing that we have a commander-in-chief, and his job is to protect the citizens. And again, we are seeing him deploy all these National Guards, but it seems like you have some people that just don't like that. They don't like it. Now, Scripture tells us that we must pray for our leader, not go against them. Remember King Nebuchadnezzar? Did Daniel went against King Nebuchadnezzar? He respected King Nebuchadnezzar. He prayed for King Nebuchadnezzar. How about those Roman soldiers and the Romans leader? Did Paul, the Apostle Paul, did he say it was something really bad to them? Well, he did one time, but then he apologized because he didn't, he's like, I didn't know you was the leader. But he did apologize. It's a lesson for many of us that we do make mistakes, but we have to pray for them. The Bible commands us to pray for them, not to wish any harm to them. But we are seeing that a lot of people is not reading scriptures. We are seeing that a lot of people are against the law of God. Again, when it comes to, respecting the high power authority, because God allowed them to be in those spotlights. All right, so once again, the state of Illinois and the city of Chicago has sued to stop the National Guard from being federalized. Now, this person wrote in his 43-page appeal that the October 9 injunction from a district judge should be stayed in its entirety. Now, the injunction improperly impinges on the president's authority and needlessly endangers federal personnel and property. Once again, Illinois Governor JB responded to the appeal on social media, and accused the U.S. commander of trying to invade Illinois with troops. We need to stop using that word, invade. Because again, the U.S. commander, he's American. And the soldiers, they're Americans. So when you say invasion, you can't, again, it just doesn't make any sense. They're Americans. That's your president, that's your commander. For them to say, it's invasion, it's a slap to the face to the Americans and the Constitution. They basically have their own agenda. Now, an invasion is when someone, a foreign nation, let's say Russia or whatever, that's an invasion. That's a true definition invasion. But when you call U.S. commander sending troops an invasion, that's just messed up. Actually, it makes you look so bad. Everybody scratching their head like, dude, what? No. I feel so bad for these people. I do. I mean, these people that hold higher power, position of power, should have more common sense. All right, so it says here, we will keep defending the sovereignty of our states, he wrote. Militarizing our communities against their will is not only un-American, but also lead us down a dangerous path for our democracy. I don't understand what's going on with these. I mean, I do know what's going on, but it's just a headache just listening to them. First of all, JB, he's not going after the Sleeping Giant citizens. He's not going after the Sleeping Giant. He's going after those that came into the Sleeping Giant illegally. Comprende? Do you want me to say in Spanish? He's not going after Sleeping Giant citizens. He's going after those that Joe allowed 20 plus million into the Sleeping Giant. Which, again, the reason why you guys are going cuckoo for Cocoa Puff, because that is your votes. That's why. But, again, it's very sad. Only a few know what's really going on. The escalation to the Supreme Court comes a day after a 3-judge panel with 7th Circuit Court of Appeal unanimously voted to uphold the district judge's temporary restraining order. Now, the political opposition is not rebellion, the judges wrote. Now, the administration has not shown a likelihood of success on the merits at this early stage. Now, once again, it says here, the judges also said in their order that the federal gov has been able to protect federal property and personnel without the National Guard's help. We see insufficient evidence of a rebellion or danger of rebellion in Illinois, the judges wrote. It says here, the spirited, sustained, and occasionally violent actions of demonstrators and protests of the federal gov immigration policies and actions without more does not give rise to a danger of rebellion against the gov authority. Now it says here, the district judges in Cali and Oregon have recently issued similar denials that blocked federal deployment in those states. At issue in Illinois are the sustained protests at the Immigration and Customs Enforcement facility in Broadview, a suburb of Chicago. On Friday, at least 15 were cuffed outside the detention center by Illinois State Police, according to the Chicago Tribune. Authorities had asked demonstrators to stay within designated protest zone, but when people started to advance towards the federal building, dozens of officers wearing helmets and armed with batons began pushing the crowd back. I feel so bad for many out there. I just feel so bad. I do. It's like, again, the blindfolds are the real deal. They basically doing those in the spotlights. They doing them a favor. I don't agree too much with Mike Pence, but one thing that I tell you that he's absolutely right, and this stuck with me ever since: you can't play politics with people's lives, and that's what's going on now. You can't play politics with people's lives, and we have seen that in those cities, the blue one. They play all this game with the people, and the people's buying into it, and they out in the streets. Again, it just, very sad. Much of the clashes happen at around 8 a.m. Man, early in the morning? People don't go to work? And several troopers tackled and dragging non-compliant of these group away. It says here progressive congressional candidate Kat was at the event and claimed she was struck in the face, and she was among those cuffed. Well, here's the thing. Why would you go there? Why would you go there knowing that it's really hot out there, knowing that you have a whole bunch of, again, those lawlessness out there? You really asking for it. Let those individuals do their job. They were commanded by Commander-in-Chief. Stop harassing them. Stop bothering them. Let them do their job. The U.S. commander has long waited to send the troops into Chirac. And last week, now he called the Windy City a war zone while talking about the number of GUN violence. In early September, the U.S. commander foreshadowed his desire to step up enforcement in Chirac with a truth so supposed that included an AI generated himself, as of himself wearing a cowboy hat with the military helicopter flying behind him. I love the smell of deportation. I'm going to say code words in the morning. Now Chicago about to find out why it's called the Department of War, he wrote. Now the line is a reference the movie Apocalypse Now, when a character says, I love the smell of napalm in the morning. The fate of the U.S. Commander-in-Chief National Guard's deployment now rests entirely with the Supreme Court, which has ordered responses from Illinois and Chicago officials by Monday evening. The decision will almost certainly set precedent for how much power the U.S. commander and the president going forward will have to federalize state troops. Now, again, we're going to find out sooner or later, but that emergency motion, I think, is going to be denied. I believe so. But what's next? If it gets denied, what's next? Well, a lot of people's talking about Insurrection Act. The U.S. commander could invoke the Insurrection Act, and boy, oh boy, that's going to be a whole different ball game. Like I say, guys, I do believe that there's a possibility sooner or later in the future we could see martial law in the year 2026. I mean, what I saw today from the movement, from the No Kings movement, and the mayor of Chicago, he was speaking and saying we must stand up and fight. I'm like, dude, you putting out the wrong. I just feel like there's gonna be some kind of confrontation between these two, and possibly civil WAR. We could see something big hitting within our sleeping giant. I do believe the sleeping giant is about to collapse sooner or later. There's so much. Again, it's not the united, it's not the divided. I mean, we never seen anything like this. Even growing up, I never seen the sleeping giant like this. These new young ones, they don't know how it is to grow up being united. You know, waving the red, white, and blue, 50 stars, the flag. They don't know too much about it. Again, they're growing up in this new generation, and their mind is, well, it's not good. We need to pray. We need to teach them. It's very important to teach them at a younger age about Christ and about our sleeping giant country. We have antichrist spirit trying to finish off a one nation under God. They're trying to completely shift it and change it. But again, I do believe that the sleeping giant has been given up. But we still have time to repent. People need to start repenting. And again, we are praying for a lot of people out there within our sleeping giant country. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Till next time later. Peace.